Yes, I can hear you.
Yes, can hear. Okay. All right. Like I said, I'm sorry we're late. But we took the grandbabies out for shopping and dinner and the whole 9 yards, and yeah, we got a little bit behind in time, and we had to put the groceries up, let the dogs out, that sort of thing once we got home. Anyway, so what do you guys want to talk about? Update. We really didn't get much done this week. Besides, this weekend we're moving the kids into the new house they just bought. And it's been kind of crazy. It's been a crazy couple of days. And me and Kenny did a side job on a 2012 Canyon, Chevy Canyon, little 4-door mid-size truck with a 3.7 liter straight 5 in it, and pulled the motor, and because it had a bad clang, and yeah, it's toasted. It's sitting right over there on the floor, and we're going to have to wait 4 to 6 weeks from O'Reilly's for a crate engine replacement for it. So we pushed it out, run the Bamalam back in, and I'm going to do some work on it for the next month and a half and get that all took care of. The shop is on standby till September. We've had so much rain, can't get the truck back in there. We'd bury whatever you put back in there, it buried the axles and more. They'd have to get a crane to get it out. So shop ain't going to be started until September, because the concrete guy is going on him and his wife of 40 plus years have been planning a European vacation for 30 years, and they're going. So if it's not going to get dry enough in the next 7 days for it to get trucks back there, so it's going to wait till September. But then it's going to be hot and heavy. It's going to be bam, 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 bam on this new shop. Let's see. Been studying up on Mustang stuff. So I think I got a pretty good plan for the Mustang once we get the new shop up. But it's just making plans for toolboxes and lifts and things like that, lighting, pulling electric, wiring in boxes, 110, 220, air conditioning, insulation, possible plumbing, blah, 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 blah. It's a big job. But it's on hold at least until the first week of September. Because he said when he gets back, I'm the first one he's coming to see, which is fine, but I just get to sit and spin for the next 7 weeks. Got a question?
Just congratulations on kid's new home.
Yep.
I'll be right back. Internet bad.
Have you ever noticed how everybody always wants to move in July and August? It always happens. July and August. It's like you can't do it in January when it's cool, Can't do it in March or, October. It's always got to be July or August. But, we'll live. They're hired movers to get the big stuff. It's just we're going to be going down all weekend getting, loose stuff, carloads full, truckloads full, and moving them to the new house. It's about 45 minutes between houses, so we'll be making runs all weekend. But tomorrow morning, little miss here, she's got to go in and get a kidney stone took care of, so we'll be at the hospital tomorrow for that. Yay.
Yeah, no kidding.
Yeah, yay. But again, I do apologize for being late. I really do. Sorry. We just kind of lost track of time. And, and when you're grandparents and you're playing with them grandbabies, you kind of lose track of time. It's one of the few joys there are.
It's been hot here. 117 yesterday, 110 today. Expected 100 days, over 110 here in Arizona desert.
I was about to say Arizona or Nevada. That's what it sounds like. Yeah, no kidding. Now, I will say, I've been to Vegas a couple times, and I live here in the middle of, it's humid, the most humid part of the world, I think, here in Green Country. 100 degrees and 100% humidity, and it's just stifling. Doesn't matter how much shade you get into. Now, I was always happy like going to Vegas and it'd be 100 degrees, but when you hit the shade, it was tolerable because there's no humidity. Is it that same way in Arizona? I know it's hot. I know it's bake your brain into bacon, in the sun, but is it there's a humidity level there, or is that you're really kind of really super dry, and if you hit the shade, it's tolerable? I was curious about that, about Arizona and New Mexico, out in the Badlands, and parts of California too.
Sometimes like 30 to 40%.
Yeah, even 30% at 107 degrees, that's man killer time. But me and Kenny were hard at it for the last couple of days. And when we pulled it out and pulled the oil pan, we found the old pickup tube on that motor was completely stopped up with bearing material. Just slices of bearing material in it. It was clanging and banging. So yeah, we got to order. I wouldn't trust anything in that motor. So they're going to pay for the new one and get it ordered tomorrow, and we're 4 to 6 weeks out on that. So I've got another project at the house, which I don't mind. That's part of it. It's gonna be a fat payday once it gets done. I'm just ready to turn some air conditioned wrenches for the rest of the summer on Bamalam and start getting it about straightened out.
Do you have any tricks to getting bed bolts out?
Bed bolts? Well, okay, they're carriage bolts. They have a head on them with square, with square ends. The bed is square, but you got to go slow. Just spray the hell, and not WD-40. It's got to be a PB Blaster or a thread, cleaner. WD-40 doesn't do anything for threads. It's got to be something to soak into it, and just spray it like every day for a week. And then if you got small torches, get some heat on it, heat it up, let it cool off, heat up, let it cool off, heat up, let it cool off, and then you work a little bit at a time. And you work a little bit at a time, and you work a little bit at a time, and you make sure you take I've got a tool. I'll get it. I'll show it to you. Yeah, you learn little ins and outs once you do it enough. And this is, I think this is a DeWalt, and it's just a 3/4 inch deal. Now it's I've been using it inside holes here lately, but when it comes, you can stick it all in there and spread it out, and you can actually fit it over the bolt, the screws, and do it on reverse, and just basically clean the threads out as best you can. Cleaning the threads, spraying it, heating it, it's a week-long process, but that's about the easiest way to do it besides getting a cutting torch out after it. Now they do make an attachment for a hammer gun, but it didn't work as good as Kenny bought it for me, and it didn't work as good as that did. And it's just time, and it's aggravating and tedious, but it can be done. Any question?
Tim 72 Demon made it long shower after spending all day under the truck, gas tank, and fuel lines.
Yeah, I am so ready for a lift. I am about to turn 57. I am kind of done up and down, up and down, up and down, underneath, up. Now, that's one thing about it when me and Kenny working together. I mean, I'm going to teach the grandkids what size wrenches are and screwdrivers and all that kind of stuff, because it was really handy having an extra body to be able to hand tools down without having to crawl back out, get what you need, hope you got the right size, crawl back in. It's hard on the body after you get a certain age. So it was really nice having an extra body here and us working as a team as well as we do. But yeah, no, yeah, fuel tanks are unnecessary. Once they get old enough, there's no cleaning them. You really have to like put a new one in. No, I'm really ready for a new shop and a lift. I really am. You cool enough?
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, we didn't even try to get time to get the air conditioner turned on and get the shop cooled down. We just come in here hot. All right, so where we're at with Bamalam. I got the seat done. I got it. Probably next month I'm going to order the dash pad. Finish the interior. I got to clean and color all the plastics. Door panels. I got window felts I got to put in. I'll be doing a video about that. I'm going to finally get this rear end out of the corner. I'm going to start pulling it apart and getting after it, and doing a video on that. And I got to tighten up all bolts on when I pulled it in today, I felt it move around a little bit. So I got to make sure and tighten up all the bolts on the suspension, since we've rebuilt the whole thing from stem to stern. And Uncle Mike is going to come down and bring his kit, and we're going to do a front end alignment in the shop. And that's going to be a good one, because it's he says it's so simple. It's 4 small plates with some grease in between to let everything move, and some string and some attachments on the hubs, and then we're going to do a full front end alignment, and I'm going to document the whole thing, and that'll be a good one, because that's something I'm going to need to learn, because I don't know about you guys, but nothing will touch that front end alignment, because it's got shims. It's antiquated equipment, and they don't want to touch it. They don't know how to do it. There's no techs below 40 that know how to do shims. And apparently there's no techs that are over 40 in the area for front end alignment. So I mean, I'm striking a big old goose egg when it comes to trying to get the front end alignment for this thing. So I'm gonna have to learn how to do it in-house, and I might actually make some side money doing that with the older stuff with shims, so that I can learn how to, actually do it in-house. Which that's all that, just getting extra space, and being able to do it. That it's going to be, if I could snap my fingers and make that shop be up and running right now, it would be used. I've got people lined up wanting to get work done.
Replacing all the rubber fuel lines. They were originally to the truck in 1986. Hard and cracked. Forgot what a pain taking those tanks out were. Yeah,
no, they're a pain in the ass. They're absolutely a pain in the ass, especially because you got to go from the inside of the frame and zip them all loose, and then have if you got it drained good, it's not too bad, because like me, I just kind of lay them on my belly and kind of scoop my way out of it, because a standard truck is tall enough, you can get it, but floor jack and a piece of wood, a nice piece of plywood. But yeah, no, they're a complete pain in the ass. But the one trick is always make sure that your new lines you put on before you hang it are extra long. That way you've got to have at least 2 foot to get past the frame and get it where you can grab a hold of it and do what you got to do to it. Connect it to the metal lines that are going across the back of the cab, things like that. But yeah, no. If they got any liquid in them at all, they're heavy and they're cumbersome and they're weird shaped, and they're a pain in the butt, but it's a necessary evil, But I mean, it's better than having like the new stuff where you got to pull the whole damn bed off to get to it, or take a cutoff wheel and you're shooting sparks on top of a gas tank, a sending unit and everything. Now I would rather. The more I do it, the more convinced that I'm never going to buy another new truck. Now Christina wants a new car. I can tell it in her eyes,
Yep.
But she just started working from home, remote. She's got a little office set up in the house, and she ain't driving anymore. So her little Ford Edge, you know, it's got how many thousand miles on it?
150.
Okay, it's good to go for another 50,000 miles. And for the amount that she's driving it, which is none, it's good for another 10 years. I ain't got to buy a new car.
No.
You get a Mustang.
No.
You're not getting a Mustang?
I'm getting a Mustang, but I'm not. No. I'm not. I want my new car. Sorry.
No.
Yeah.
No.
Yes.
No. You know what it is? It's my daughter got a new car.
No. Mine's fine right now. But eventually I am going to get a new one.
Yeah, a new Mustang. New to you.
Yeah. You keep talking like that.
All right, guys. You guys have these same kind of conversations with your ladies? I'm just saying, after 35 years. Now, we're not going to try to miss a single live on Thursday from this to the end of time. But in November, second week of November, we are going to be out of town. We're going to Vegas. So I'm sorry, but we're going to miss that one for sure. Because I'm not going to stop playing poker and gambling and watching showgirls and stuff to put a live on in Vegas. Just not. I'm sorry, I'm not going to do it. I love you guys, but I'm just saying, I'm not doing it. We're not doing a live in Vegas.
Yeah, whatever.
Maybe.
My money's on her. She will get a new car. You got
I thought
that
you guys had my back.
That's right. That's right.
You know, when you've been together so long and there's nothing else to banter at each other about, you got to give each other a little bit of shit, you know, just for fun, you know. I mean, the most strenuous thing that we argue about is which way the toilet paper roll should come off. It should be coming from the front, not from underneath.
Yeah.
That's about the biggest argument that we have.
Yeah.
But she's worth it. She ain't worth a new car, but she's worth it.
Okay, you keep telling yourself that.
Let me see. What else we got going on? Oh, I am going to be working on this a little bit. I got a new one I'm going to build. I'm going to do a new one for the fall, which is going to be, I'm going to try to build that one with what I already have in it. It's already machined and everything. This was going to be done the right way. So I'm going to try to get into that 350 for under 1,200, maybe 1,250. And that's going to be the deal. Right now, machine work and all the parts and everything, I got $520 in it right now, machined and ready to be put together. I got the pistons, the rods redone. I got the bearings and the gasket kits and all the parts, the fuel pump, oil pump. I got all the stuff sitting on the shelves, and we're going to see if we can get that one together for $1,200 instead of the $500 build on this one, because that one actually had the machine work done and it's ready to go. So it's 40 over, flat top pistons, resized rods. It's just got to be. I just got to put everything together, and we'll mic everything, and we'll do everything the right way instead of doing everything the backwards way like we did on this one.
In my 1978 Sierra Grande, the card in the glove box lists the original motor as a LS9. I don't think it was an LS.
No, it's a code. It's a production code. If you'll go online and do a search, like a Google for your year model, GMC, Silverado, whatever, and what the LS9 engine code is, it'll tell you whether it was a 305 or a 350, 4-bolt, 454, whatever was originally in it. But you just gotta Google it. All that information will pop right up online. I I still got the old books and everything that's got all the numbers for all that kind of stuff, but it's just real simple. Just get on your phone and what's the engine code for a 78, whatever, LS9. It'll tell you what it is. But it wasn't an LS. No, those didn't come out till what, 99, 98, 99 is when they introduced the LS.
My 65 Chevelle came with a L79 350 HP. Is screaming and running perfectly. Why don't people build these stock engines anymore?
Well, they do. I mean, with this, updated cam and everything, but an L79 or L82, like L82, I think that code was Corvette, and the L79 is the Chevelles, and the higher performance. It's probably a 4-bolt main, and it's probably a little bit higher compression because of the year model, because they had good gas back then. But they do. I mean, besides the compression ratio, because you had good gas back then. Instead of doing 10.5 to 1, 11 to 1s like they came factory, you're doing 8.5, 9 to 1s because you got to run off of the gas that you have available to you. And they're rock solid. I mean, this is 4-bolt main, good solid. They're high performance heads on it, 87X heads, 487X heads, and good flowing 4-bolt main, it's lower compression because of the year it was made. But no, it's the same rotating assembly and everything, except maybe you with an L79 you might have had a forged crank instead of cast. But I mean, they're basically the same thing.
Like the 1970 Chevelle LS6.
Yeah, no, the LS6. No, that's a 396 or a 402 or a 454. I can't remember. But I mean, they're here. I mean, I'm looking for big block parts. I mean, I've built a lot of small blocks over the last couple of years. So I'm ready to I've got some heads. I got a crank. I'm on Marketplace almost every day looking for big block parts, and that's how I built the big block for the Camaro, the race car, that we beat on for 6 years, never turned around. Part after part to part, I just picked the best parts of everything I had out of the pile, and then I sold off the rest. I mean, I wish I had kept it, but I mean, I ended up with a forged crank, a standard 454 crank, a good set of heads. They weren't rectangular port; they were oval, but they were big ovals. And I did hyper eutectic pistons on it, the Speed Pro with the black skirts and everything, and resized the rods, rod bolts, main studs, the whole 9 yards. And we beat on that car for 6 years, drag racing, bracket racing with it every freaking weekend for 6 years, and never turned a wrench on. It is still running to this day. And it's been 18, 19 years since we bought the house.
Something like that.
Yeah, and we quit a year before we bought the house. So that motor's been together 25 years. And because of me buying, just like the pickup trucks, buying piles of parts and getting the best out of the piles and using 6 or 7 different buys to get all the good stuff, it's lasted forever.
Big blocks are hard to find up where I live.
Where would that be? They're getting hard to find everywhere, but they're around. It's just prying them from the cold, dead hands of the old guys that's got them. Honest truth. I mean, they are getting to where they're, it's almost to the point, if you're going to spend the money to go and go with Dart or go with, Speedway? No. Anyways, there's aftermarket guys that are selling them, and they're selling them brand new, the 502s and stuff like that. You can get them. You're going to pay for them. Nebraska. Yeah. Yeah, everything rusts. I mean, I have a cousin in Wisconsin that's a Pontiac guy, and he's been hoarding parts for decades, and he has a hard time finding engine parts because they just rust to pieces. He loves his 60s Pontiacs, and I mean, anything big block, and yeah, he has a hard time finding parts.
We have a lot of 366.
Tall deck dump truck motors, farm implement motors. Yeah. I had a tall deck one time. They make great 632 cubic inches, but I mean, then you're talking about fitment. You're talking about you can't run a master a brake booster because there's just not enough room for the valve covers, and you got to buy everything special. And you're talking about dollar after dollar after dollar after dollar. You know, I'm just hoping to be searching to find like a old 78 or 77 model with a big block in it, like a 1-ton with a turbo 400, and that's going to be a donor vehicle. Old Suburbans, yeah. So, but honest truth, I think all I'll be looking for right now, since I got the crank and I got the heads, set of rods, and a block, and we could go from there. We could probably start from there, but everything will get machined on this time, you know, because this was an experiment just to see what we can do. And it's going to be a while before I get something to put that in, but every once in a while I come across one of them startup stands, you know, on Marketplace, and I'm thinking I might pull the trigger on one of these days once I get space.
It says trucks, yes. No power, eats a lot of gas. The 366.
Yeah, a lot of torque. 366. And a long stroke. It's a very long stroke, and that's what produces torque, not horsepower. So it's good for low RPM grunt. Pull a mountain, but won't go very far down without wrapping out RPM wise, because you don't want to put that much RPMs on that long of a rod. Not without extensive work done.
I run a lot of 327 big blocks in my truck. In my trucks.
327 big blocks. You need 327 small blocks? Shorter stroke, peppy, fun. Now, a 366 is a tall deck, 420, 4 and a quarter inch stroke. A 427 tall deck is a tall deck with a 4.5 inch stroke, with a very long rod. A lot of movement. Tall deck. That's why they were putting all the farm implements in the dump trucks and things like that, because they need a lot of low end grunt on gas if you didn't want to run diesel.
James says, gotta go, dinner time. Hope to see more videos from you. Cheers, mate.
Thank you, James. Appreciate you very much. Click that thumbs up button, hit that like button if you're here, before you get off here, so that YouTube likes you guys talking to us. But I mean, that's all it's about. That's why I like doing lives, because it's one-on-one, you know, and I get a lot of messages from you guys during the week, you know, and everything when I make videos and stuff about the videos. But it's nothing compares to, like, I have more enjoyment just sitting down and talking with you guys like we're sitting and having a beer than anything else. This is I really enjoy these, and I appreciate all you guys being here.
I meant 427 big blocks.
427s, yep. No, 427s are awesome. They're getting hard to find. 427s are. Like the heads, the crank I have in there is a 396 or a 402 crank, and the heads are 402 heads. But I mean, they're out there. It's just, it takes time to gather everything up, or you somehow get lucky enough to find a honey hole of an older guy that's just wanting to get rid of his stash. And then it's time to call all your friends with all their trucks and get everything hauled off all at once before he changes his mind. They have some deep pockets. Well, like I said, on the race car, it took me a couple of years to gather up everything, and I had several cranks and lots of heads and a couple of blocks, and I just picked the best out of all of them and built one really good engine. Like I said, it's been together 25 years. It's still going.
Chris says I have a few of them.
Yeah, I wish I'd known when I was a young man to keep everything that I got. Because, you're young and in love and you get married and, you have kids and everything, and it's buy diapers or buy big blocks, and you're going to buy diapers instead of big blocks. But woulda, coulda, shoulda. I'm not complaining at all. Like I said, I've got.
Sounds like it.
Well, there's lots. All of you guys out there have memories of cars you should have bought that would be your retirement account now. Back in the day, mine was a Chevelle convertible, a '71 Chevelle convertible that I could have bought for $2,500 back in like 1986, and I should have done it. I just didn't pull the trigger on it, and I passed it by. And that car would be my retirement account now. There's, and like, you just don't know. Like back in my day, you couldn't give Novas away. Nobody wanted it because there was still, first gen Camaros, there were still Chevelles, there were Cudas and Challengers. There was all Mustangs. They were all over the place. Back in the early and late '80s. They were everywhere, but you couldn't give a Nova away. I had a friend bought a Nova running for $200 once, running with a small block in it, and it was just nobody wanted them. Now you can't touch them damn things for less than $5,000 in terrible condition, because they're just becoming extinct. If I'd had, just some angel touched me on the shoulder and said, "You better buy that right now. Just buy it and put it back in the field and just hold on to it for a while." I wouldn't have to work for a living.
Chris says, I was single until I was 33. I demo a lot of good cars, which I would have saved them to.
Yep. All of us. Woulda, coulda, shoulda. Woulda, coulda, shoulda. Oh my God, if I had that now. Oh my goodness, if I had that now. Woulda, coulda, shoulda. But, they're still out there. I'm still, right now, because I'm just holding on to all my money to build the building. Once that's done, I got things popping up on Marketplace that there was a 73 Camaro came up on Marketplace around here in my town for $1,800 today, which has a title. It's a complete basket case, but I do basket cases. I bring them back from the dead, but that's one of those cars you never lose money on, like the Mustang. I'll never lose money on the Mustang, and I think on the Square Bodies, I'll never lose money on the Square Bodies because they're just too popular right now. But that would have been a treasure trove right there, because he had the car and boxes and boxes and boxes of parts to go with the car. So right now I don't have any place to put it. I've got 2 cars in here, I've got 3 cars outside, and I need to build a new building. So she'd divorce me if I bring another one home right now. Yeah, she's rolling her eyes right now like, yeah. But there's been a lot of them that got away. A lot of them got away. But I don't think I'll ever build another race car. I'm gonna build one to take to the racetrack. But like, I'm still gonna be tagged, still gonna be titled, still gonna be where you can get in and out of it. But it's gonna be really, really, really hot. You're gonna hear it before you see it, and it's gonna be the weekend fun truck in a couple of years. But I'm just happy to be doing what I'm doing now. Being a grandfather and being and having fun with them grandkids and spending time with them and everything. Like I said, I'm gonna apologize again for being late, but they're worth it.
Chris says, I still have a lot of them in my shed I've saved years ago.
Where you live, Chris?
That's the one from Nebraska, I think.
Okay. Well,
Yes.
Nebraska is only about 8 hours away.
Yep, Nebraska.
You know, you see the face?
Chevy, Dodge, and Ford. I'm blessed to have what I have.
Yeah. Yeah. No. It doesn't really matter. As long as you have a good time with it. I consider it one of the best hobbies there is. I mean, I really do. I mean, you can hunt, you can fish, you can do all those sort of things with your family, with your kids, with your sons, with your daughters, and everything. And hot rodding is the same way. Building cars is the same way. I mean, it really builds strong bonds. I mean, I had a home business when my kids were 10 to 14. All right. And my son and my daughter. And it was the best thing I ever did. Okay. Being able to spend time with them, wrenching, teaching lessons, showing, you know, I wouldn't take $1 billion to take those memories away from me, and all that time and all that fun. I mean, it's the most precious, one of the most precious things that I have in my memories. And I'm hoping to be able to build that same sort of relationship with my grandsons. You know, I've got a 7-year-old out in California that I really wish I could spend some time with. But it breaks my heart, but I really wish I could. But the 2-year-old and the 1-year-old, I mean, yeah, we're going to start teaching them what wrench is what wrench and what size, and get Papa this socket and get Papa that wrench and this screwdriver. And because, you know, when they're 2 and 3 years old, all they want to do is help, you know. So if you can teach them what's what, oh my God, they're the best tool getters in the world.
Russ says, thanks, in Quebec. Still waiting on the block and heads from the machine shop. Chris says, come on up if you want, but I might want to ask the boss if it's okay.
Yeah, I'd have to ask the boss too.
I have a lot of old guys that drive by my car yard to remember the old days.
Yeah, and see, that's the thing about, like, the Camaros and the Chevelles and the Firebirds and the Cudas and the Chargers and the Challengers and the Ford Mustangs and all that stuff. It's like hearing an old song you haven't heard on the radio for decades, and it brings all those memories back. It's an instant time warp back in time to when you were having fun. That's the camaraderie that builds when it comes to stuff like this. Everybody, like all you guys that are watching this right now, you guys have got memories of doing this stuff and turning wrenches and spending time with friends and doing, you know, and back then you had to go help to learn. You know, you could read it all day long, but until you put your hands on it and do yourself, you don't really get exactly what they mean when you're discussing in old Chilton books about how to do something, until you've got your hands are greasy and you got dirt up to here and you got gravel in your hair and you're underneath the oak tree with a chain come along and you're doing whatever you're doing and you're learning and you're building relationships that are going to last the rest of your life. The guys that I did this with when I was a teenager, I am still friends with today. We talk to each other at least once a week, all of them. You know, that is the bond that stuff like this brings, including all of you guys. I hope you guys feel as comfortable with me as I do talking about this stuff with you guys, because that's what it's all about. It's just about the relationships that hot rods can produce. You know.
Chris says, I hope I have 2 boys. I hope they learn what I teach them.
All you gotta do is invite them out in the garage. Just invite them out in the garage. Like I said, mine were 10 to 14, and my daughter, even though she's a princess as they come, she can gap her own plugs and change her own tire and do everything you know. And it's just, you know, and my son, he starts at a dealership on Monday as a mechanic. You know, was the go-to guy in the Navy for 10 years. You know, being a wrencher on F-18s, he's a mechanic. He as good as they come. And he's teaching me things. Every time we work together, I learn something because he's into the new stuff. He's into the computers. He's into the fuel injection. He's into the OBSs. He's into the new stuff. And it's just not my thing. But I learn every time that we sit and do a job like this 3.7 liter straight 5, you know, which to me, it's completely over-engineered. It's got so many sensors on it. I mean, it's got probably 25 different sensors on the block itself. Heads, block, fuel, you know, cam phasing, all kinds of stuff. You know, if you got a question, go ahead and tell me. But I mean, it's basically the same thing, air, fuel, fire, except where in my day it's mechanical. Now it's all controlled by the computer. You know, and it really isn't any different. But some of these engines that they're coming out with, they are so overdone. They are over-engineered. But it still comes back to, if you've got a clank, tank when it's running, you got issues. And we pulled it apart, and it's been star for oil for a long time, and it's ruined. But just a matter of building a new one and putting everything back on it, all the accessories, and putting it back in that truck, and then it's done. You know, it's the same pulling a motor, whether it's a 2012 model, a 2020 model, or a 1970 model. It's the same process, except for like some silly dumb shit. Like the timing cover on this thing has 15 bolts on it, they're all over the place. You know, it's got all kinds of stuff in the water pump is kind of weird, and the bell housing had 12 freaking bolts in it. A bell housing, where on, you know, Ford, Chevy, Chrysler, whatever, all those stuff 6. You know, and it's just silly things like that. They just over-engineer it in the way they're produced, where they put everything on the frame and then they drop the body on the frame, and then it makes it where there's a lot of things on it you just literally cannot reach without pulling the body off of the frame. It's if engineers had to work on stuff, things would be designed a whole lot different. Got any questions? You know, if you guys are here and you're watching, think about supporting the channel. You know, send a gift or buy a T-shirt or order a hat or do whatever. It really helps out. It's just every little penny on this thing helps. I really appreciate all of you guys. I really, really appreciate it.
Chris says the new stuff is junk to him.
Well, now, like this one, that 3.7 liter, I see why it burned up, because it was going bad and they kept driving it. Because, you know, I mean, it was banging, bang, 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 bang every time it fired on that cylinder. And the oil pickup tube got completely plugged, so there was no oil on top, there's no oil in the crankcase, there was nothing moving around in it, and it ruined that engine. It turned it into a boat anchor. But I'm not a big fan. Now, I got to get LS motors. I mean, the design is as an air pump, design is pretty good, you know, and they take a lot of horsepower. They'll take a turbo, they'll take supercharger from a junkyard motor that you pay $500-700 for, and it'll take it all day long. You really got to put the juice to them to break them, you know, which is not the case with something like this. It's just not designed that way. But it's just what you're into. I have nothing against LS motors. I've got nothing against the new stuff. It's just that they're so over designed. What time is it?
9:07.
9 o'clock. All right. Well, we did less than an hour. I appreciate all you guys. Like I said, if you haven't yet, smash that like button. Think about supporting the channel if you would like to. I'd really appreciate it. We'll be here on time next week.
Okay. I have a really beat up long bed. I don't know if I should try to find a new bed to replace the bedside or try to pull the dents. What would you recommend?
Well, right now, for money's sake, I'm fixing everything I got. I'm buying patch panels. LMC Trucks got really good stuff. Classic Industries got really good stuff. It's not as thick as the original, but it's pretty close. They weld up good. It's a lot of work, but right now, if you got the bank account to be able to buy a replacement bedside, it's like, you're unbolting it and busting a couple of welds and grind, use the cutoff wheel, grind a couple of welds, and you put it right back on and just bolt it up and do a couple of tack welds, and you're good to go, and you got a brand new panel. But right now, like everything on Bamalam is original parts, except for a couple of patch panels. And so I'm a proponent of fixing what you have and not replacing what you have. I build them and don't buy them. But if it comes to the time where I have side work for customers, things like that, and if that's what they want to do, that's what we'll do. We'll have fenders come in and doors come in wrapped in wood and cardboard, and unbox them and put everything together. But right now, I fix everything. I fix what I got. I work with what I have.
Chris says LS are good. I like them.
Yeah. You can't argue with the design. You cannot argue with that. They just perform, and they're strong, and they take power adders like nothing else that GM has produced. I mean, they're just that block design and the head design. They really make a lot of power, and they are really tough. But it's just not me. It's not. And someday I might think about doing it, but it's just not me. I'm going to stick with what originally went in. Beef it up a little bit, have some fun with it, make it rumble, make it sound good, because I haven't found an LS yet that sounds good. That sounds like a small block, or especially doesn't sound like a big block, because half of the fun of it is hearing it rumble. Like right now, when I start this thing up with open headers, it makes my skin crawl and it makes me happy. Open headers with a big cam. Yeah, that sounds great to me. I mean, it gives me goosebumps every time I do it.
How would you go about diagnosing a pop at idle only from even side on a 350 when vacuum advance is connected?
It's where do you have your vacuum advance connected to? Manifold or port on the carburetor? Because that's the argument I'm having with everybody online right now, because I have always run vacuum off the ported vacuum off the carburetor. So it doesn't
manifold Edelbrock 1406.
Okay. So I have always run my distributor, vacuum advance of my distributor, off of the ported vacuum on my carburetor, not off the manifold. The manifold is constant vacuum. The ported vacuum, it'll give you vacuum when you need it, when you jump into it. That's why it's called ported. That's you get your advance whenever you're romping on it. Now that's an old school way, but that's the way I've always done it. I've never run my vacuum advance off the manifold. It's always been off the ported vacuum on the carburetor, because that keeps it from advancing too much as you're idling, because you're pulling the most vacuum when you're idling. So it's advancing the most as you're idling. And that's where you don't want the detonation at. You don't want it advancing like that. You want it advancing when you're under power. And everybody argues with me about that one, but that's the way I've always done it, and it's always treated me right, and that's why I have that one done. That's why I did the last one, and the one before that, and the one before that, and one before that. It's always been, except for the drag car, which I didn't have a vacuum advance on at all because I had a fire and it burned up the diaphragm in a vacuum advance, but I just never ran it because it's just for drivability and everything, just for idling's sake. I've just always run off the ported on the carburetor, and everybody's going to argue with me about that, but that's what I do, and it's worked for me. Try that. See if it cleans it up. And if it doesn't clean it up, then just do a quick cut a couple pieces of cardboard, pull your valve covers, and run your valves. Back them off so they start ticking, and then tighten them down until they stop, and then do a half turn on all of them, on both banks, and that should clean it up.
I appreciate it. I'll try it tomorrow.
You guys got any other questions before we go for the night? I think the dogs want some attention. I can hear them barking.
Yeah, they're going off. They're like, hello, did you forget about us?
It's like having kids when you have dogs when you're empty nesters.
Yeah.
They need their attention every day.
Just go until they tick, and only half is enough.
Yeah, go until they tick. Back them off till you hear tick, 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 and then you tighten them until they shut up. Then you go half turn, and you do that exhaust and intake all the way across. And you take a couple of pieces of cardboard, and so that it doesn't splash on the headers. It's going to splash a little bit, but that's the easiest way to do it. And so it's just, you just back it off till you hear it go tick, 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 and you put it back in until it stops, and then half turn as it's running. Matter of fact, I'm going to do that once I get most of it done. I start driving it and get the front end alignment. I'm going to do that on this, and I'll be doing a video in a couple of months about that, about how to set your valves as it's running. Easiest way to do it, you know. And then I'm thinking about buying a set of roller rockers for it too, because I got stock ones on it right now.
I appreciate greatly. I did a quarter preload when installing my cam.
I did too, on that one. Yeah, it is, but it never. I mean, it's great for startup, but like because this has got a fresh cam in it, it's gonna have to break it in. When I get it in whatever I get it into, the valve cover is gonna come off, the cardboard's gonna go in, and when it first starts up, I'll be resetting the valves the first thing as it's running once it gets started, because that's close, but there's nothing replaces doing it while it's running, because you know you're right then. Oh, another thing to check the healthiness of your lifters, take a paint marker or a marker and mark all your push rods on the inside of the valley, like towards the intake, right? And make sure every time it runs, they're spinning. I use a yellow paint marker. It won't hurt the engine or everything. Just put a yellow paint marker on each one of the push rods to make sure as it's running that they're turning a little bit every rotation of the engine, and they'll tell you whether or not your lifters are working correctly and the cam is working like it's supposed to. That's an old school trick, because that's a visual. You can see it right there. If that push rod is going up and down, and that piece of paint is not moving, that's trouble. Well, if you guys don't have anything else you want to talk about tonight, then I think we'll call it a night. Don't forget, we're doing this every Thursday except for second week of November, because we're going to Vegas.
Can't get here fast enough.
Can't get here fast enough. I know. I haven't had a vacation in about 6 years. But that's with the business I have besides doing this. Yeah, there's not a lot of vacation time involved, but I'm biting the bullet. And I'm gonna take a week off and just veg, and just gamble and drink and eat and have a good time, and yeah. So, all right. Any last questions?
Nope. Tim says thanks.
All right. So you guys have a great night, because a good day today could be a what?
Great day tomorrow.
A better day tomorrow.
Oh, okay.
All right. I appreciate you guys. Think about supporting the channel. You guys have a great night. Bye.